she is. We're gonna put her into the GT. That's right, the hardtail. Hopefully we're gonna end the hardtail adventure. Bring ourselves over to the suspended seat post future. Got a couple new bike lights for the winter or for midnight bike rides. There's a seat that's going on that. We're gonna throw her in. Oh, there she is. She looks great. Nice and short. That's what I wanted. I can get the seat up pretty damn high, that's for sure. It's gonna be too high, so we're gonna probably put it all the way up to the maximum and just use the 4 inches or so, 3-4 inches above the seat tube. 4.5 inches. We'll see. But that was my only real concern. I was looking for the lowest suspension seat post. It looked small. Everything on this just looked a little smaller than the other ones because I can't go up that high on that bike, or else it's going to ruin the experience. So, all right, let's get her in. Okay, the directions are just warning you. Make sure you know what you're doing. Take it to a dealership if you don't. Choose your seat post setup. I'm 165 pounds, so I don't have to do anything. According to this, the main spring's already in there. It comes with an extra one in case I gain a few 100 pounds, or if I want it to be stiffer. So we're gonna see. That's kind of a cool option. I think you can order other springs online to switch it up even more. Seems pretty easy. You can adjust preload plug located at the bottom of the seat post, which is down here. I'm just gonna test it and just to see how it fits. Just naturally, nothing crazy. I just wanna make sure it's the right size, and it seems to be. Kind of snug, it's kind of tight. So I'm gonna have to lube her up and drive her in there. I wish it was a little easier. It's already pretty tight. So, yeah. It's already taking the paint off. We're already damaging it, so what's gonna happen? We're gonna rip all the paint off, getting this in there. I don't know why it's that narrow. Steel frame must just be like changing sizes in the temperature or something. I have no idea. We're gonna get this in though. That's why I bought it. I'm definitely using it. So in order to do this right, we're gonna clean out the inside of this seat tube because it's been giving us problems for quite a while, so I don't trust it at the moment. We're gonna do the best we can to clean it out. I gotta go find some stuff. I'm doing the deed, doing the dirty with this hole right here. Trying to make sure it's cleaner than it was. I think there was some rust and just dirty grease and rusted grease in there. Just nasty, kind of. Rather just do a few more swipes through. Get it as clean as I can, because I know it got rained on years ago. When my buddy owned the frame, that is. Alright, we're gonna do a little more. So this isn't really working out. This literally goes down to this bar right here and stops. Like right at that bar. That should not be the case. This must be an old steel frame. Why does it fit pretty normally down there and then it just completely stops? That's really annoying. Oh, man.
It's only just 1 millimeter. Just shave it down and stick it in the hole. Who cares? Void the warranty. We don't care. Why do you care? Who cares? Just do it. You think it's gonna kill you? It's not gonna kill you. Just do it. Who gives a crap? Just do it. You see. What the hell's wrong with you? Come on.
Just return it. Return it to Amazon. Return it to the store. Get your money back. You know it's the right thing to do. Get your money back. Do the right thing. Don't hurt yourself. It could be dangerous. The pole could go right through your ass. Alright, some of y'all are gonna hate me, but instead of returning it, because it was 1 millimeter too wide, that means 0.5 millimeters all around it or something. Very annoying. That's what happened to this one, but I figured out why this one broke. Because of this. I never got a bolt and locked it. And I didn't really realize that. Didn't really double check this bike as thorough as I should have. So, my mistake. I'm gonna be honest here. I never locked it, so I bet you, even though I did sand this one down too to fit in there, and it fits in perfectly. Like perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Just like this one does. The shock stopper. This one's actually a tiny bit tighter, but with some lube, it's like really good. All right, so I can push it all the way down, no problem. It fits in very snug. It's like a perfect fit. Just basically sanding off the paint with 60 grit by hand for a good half hour on a table in front of a fan. I did it over here. This is where I sanded. I got the fan on the window for cooking. I just went nuts right here for about a half hour and sanded it with the 60 grit by hand. Took off all the paint. I marked it in a couple of spots so I know where the top is. So there's the mark right there. I marked the top and the bottom, so that's all you need. So now we're gonna have fun with it, try it out, and test it instead of returning it. Returning it would have been such a party pooper move. I just can't do that. It's $230. Who cares if you lose the warranty? I didn't break anything. I kept everything, preserved it, didn't really twist it too hard to get it in. It's very light twisting to push it down like normal. Everything's functioning, and it even squishes down a little bit when I push, like with a lot of force. So we gotta test it. Put the seat back on and test her out now. But yeah, I'm psyched. We got a little bit of lube in there. Probably gonna put a little bit more lube in there. I'm re-lubing. I'm basically poking it with a clean stem and then taking it out and cleaning it, put it back in, take it out, clean it, put it back in, take it out, clean it until I want to kind of see the grease get a little bit better colored. So there's nothing wrong with kind of cleaning out the inside of the seat tube a little more and getting fresh grease up and down there. I did sand inside of here and cleaned it out very well with an SOS pad and one of these, my needle nose plies. We did the best we could in there for a while too. I spent a good hour cleaning inside of there, so everything should be ready to go with this weird old GT frame. But yeah, I'm psyched. Now I'm psyched. And we got a brand new light, the NR Lumina 1200. It's USB-A, okay everyone? The other one I got is USB-C. Saigo Light Velocity Endurance, 1200 lumens with the USB-C jack, so everybody can see that it's a true USB-C jack. I think it charges quicker than A, but I still have to test it. Waterproof. Plug it in, and then the test. Oh, low, medium, high. I mean, come on. Thing's crazy awesome. Can't get any better than that. You can adjust the dimness with this other button. I don't know if you can see that, like low, high. It's very hard to tell right now. That's it. So awesome light. Awesome light comes with the holder, which I put right there. But the other holder from the Saigo Light 850, which I have over here, the Saigo Light 850 holder also fits it. It's backwards at the moment, but it's just good to know that if you have an old Saigo Light 850 holder, see, snap it right in there. It's awesome. Nice and secure, won't go anywhere. I love that it fits in the old holder. That's why I wanted this one. I bought the other one just as a experiment. Saigo Light Velocity Endurance, 1200 lumens. We're loving it. We're gonna do a further review once I use it at night and get out in the field with the camera. All right, why I wanted to compare these two bikes is because this one's full suspension and this one's now got the shock stopper. So I really need to compare them. This one's awesome, well suspended, feels like air. Well, now let's check this one that's got a coil Manitow front shock rebuilt with new grease. And now it's got the shock stopper, the regular one. $230. Now we get to have the fun of comparing them, testing it and comparing them. That's really why I avoided the warranty and went with sanding it down, marking the lines where I needed to mark, like the maximum insertion point and minimum insertion point, and we're ready to go. We can install the seat, adjust everything accordingly, and then get to comparing. I can't wait. So we're on our way home from the bike shop because I needed the collar tightener, so he gave me one of these. I paid $10 and it's awesome. So I'm psyched. Now we can really test this thing. So let's get back home. All right, we're about to rescue this bike, so let's do it. Let's get this collar on and in. All right, we're happy. It's looking good. Works great. It's nice and tight and snug. Even though it doesn't make any sense, it's not supposed to go on this bike, but we're doing it. Time to put the seat on. There's my rear suspension. Hey guys. As you can see, look at how it works. I think it's gonna be good. I don't know if I'm gonna need the other spring. It's supposedly set up for my weight. So now we're gonna go test it. We got this thing fully suspended. All right, when I put my full weight on it, you can see I'm off of it and then I'm on it. It's all the way down. So I might need the other spring. We'll see. I'm gonna go take it on a quick test run. But it is cool how it just kind of bounces. The shock feels good, and I'm glad you can tighten it. I gotta read the settings actually. I have to tighten it, I think. Not add the other spring yet. You have to probably tighten the setting at the bottom and make it a little stiffer if possible. I love to be sitting somewhere in the middle. Give it some play for the bottom so you can kind of have some up and down, because right now it just feels like it's bottomed out. I don't know if it's gonna work bottomed out. I really have no idea. All right, initial first impressions. I love it. It's way better. It's like a million times better than without it. That's for sure. It's at the right height, very comfortable. I could probably put it up even higher, but that's pretty nice right there. It's just kind of bottoming out. I'm close to the bottom, so I'm gonna figure out how to tighten it, reread the directions, make the adjustments, and then try it again. All right, preload time. This is the fun part. Preload adjustment of 1 is the softest setting. That's what it's probably on. I did not adjust the preload at all. Turning the preload further into the seat post will increase the stiffness and firm up the suspension. That's exactly what I need. I can't wait. This can be done by hand or if necessary with a 4mm hex wrench. It can be inserted through the whole sides to provide additional leverage. Firmest setting is where the preload plug turned all the way in. Does not need to be tight. As you can see, it's showing you right there. I think what I got it at is like right there, number 1, somewhere around there between 1 and 2. So I'm going to tighten it up to about 3 and get it at the 20% range, because it says right here, as shown in the suggested preload range in table 1, there is a wide range of spring and preload settings that are appropriate depending on your preferred ride feel. As a starting point for a comfort-oriented setting, set the preload so that the suspension mechanism moves down approximately 6 millimeters or 20% from the top of its travel range. That's perfect, by the way. When you're using the sitting in a neutral riding position, 20% sag point can be determined visually by removing the fender and observing the setting such that the end of the silver pivot shaft is barely but completely hidden from view by the side of the post when you're seated in a neutral position. That's the chart that's showing you. So that's when it's neutral and you kind of like not on it. And then when you sit on it, you kind of want to get it to be that circle, silver pivot shaft. You want it to be hidden from view. That's it. Just hide that in your 20%. Another general guideline is the bound test while riding on flat ground. Raise up off the saddle and then down with some force to bounce the suspension. If it's easy for you to reach the full range of travel and you're getting noticeable bottom out feel at the end of the travel, which I am, you may want to increase the preload. Awesome. Here's the preload adjuster. You can twist it by hand. I just gave it a couple twists. It was out a little bit. It was like there, so I'm just twisting it in. More. I think I'm going to use the Allen wrench to help me. I want to feel that 20% sag and make sure I'm up there. Use the Allen wrench for leverage, right? So this is how you do that. You just kind of give it some twist. Not going all the way in. We're going to leave some out. So we're going to test that right there. All right, so there's the pivot point, and then I'm going to put my full weight on it. And I think it's still going down. It's still going down too much. So I'm going to tighten it more. I'm not going all the way. That's probably enough until I have to add the other spring. It's fully tightened all the way in. Well, not fully tight, but it's all the way in the stiffest position. With my full weight, silver pivot point seems to be going down a little too much. I think it's hidden, but look how close we are to the bottom. So we might need that other spring. Well, it definitely feels great. All right, well, I'd say on stuff like this, it feels pretty good. Absolutely. And then stuff like this, yeah, has it smoothed out the ride? Big time. You can see my arm shaking a little bit, but it definitely doesn't feel like a hardtail. It feels pretty stiff. I don't know if I'm gonna use the other spring yet. I'm just gonna test it out, see if I bottom out, hit some bigger bumps. But this is a good test right here. You know, bumpy and just crappy. All these crazy bumps. This is a hard bump. Yep, I felt the bounce. I feel the bottoming out. I can feel it bottoming out, so probably not good. Let's hit this. Two hands. Yeah, it's bottoming out. I think it'd be better with the spring, so I might add the spring. So let's take it back into the shop and maybe loosen it up again and read the directions to add the spring because it just could be a little stiffer. That one spring just doesn't seem like it's enough. I'd love to not hit the bottom every time. That would be awesome if I could get it to that point, but you don't hit the bottom when you hit the bigger bumps. In the meantime, I'm kind of floating a little bit, I know it. I want to jump up and down on it. See, it's easy to hit the bottom at the moment. Just my weight. I'd like it to be more stiff, so let's get it stiffer. All right, it's springtime. The shock stop seat post ships with two springs, an outer spring which comes pre-installed in the seat post, and an inner spring which is included in the package. Note, the outer spring must always be installed. The inner spring can be optionally added when a stiffer spring rate is desired. That's what I need. All right, move seat post from frame, turn seat post upside down, completely unscrew. Preload plug. This can be done by hand by inserting a 4mm hex wrench. Tilt the seat post to slide internal components out of bottom. Spring spacer not included with 280mm length and springs and end cap. Insert or remove the inner spring. Inside the outer spring, apply grease. Apply grease to the outside of outer spring and end caps if needed. Turn seat post upside and reinstall components. Very easy, and then they give you a picture here showing you basically how to do it. So let's do it. Okay, that's what's slid out. Once you take the end cap off, you get a spring and a spacer. So we're just gonna be throwing this extra spring in right now. Let's give it more stiffness because I think it's gonna benefit from the extra stiffness. I think it's just gonna go slide right in the middle, if I'm correct. That's it, you just put it in the middle, give it extra springage. That's it, so we just slide this into here. And I think we're ready to go. Reassemble. That's it, literally. Grease is already there, we don't need any grease. It says apply some grease and then turn it upside down and just reinstall. It's very simple, so yeah. Very basic actually. You're just using springs. I'm sure you could even order better springs, right? You can play with the springs, you can customize the springs all you want. You could build your own springs, 3D print springs, you know, all that good stuff. Carve them out of rock, you know what I mean? All right, This goes back in. Those go in, and this goes in. You're good. Let's tighten her up. Now with the spring in, I'm gonna leave it about 4 of those notches just to measure at the moment, and let's just test it. With my full weight, it still doesn't feel firm enough, so I'm gonna tighten it. All right, I tightened it up pretty tight with the other spring in there, and now it seems to be pretty good. Let's just test that. Full weight. It's better. I could go a little stiffer, but then I have to probably get stiffer springs, so we're gonna just test this out. I just tightened it up, so I'd say we're not perfectly tight, we're not very tight. We're not all the way in, like the directions say, but we're in as far as we're gonna be for both springs. So this is as stiff as it's gonna get. Let's test it. All right, it feels actually closest to the 20% marker that I've gotten so far. That's full weight. It's the best it's gonna be with both springs at the moment, so let's test her out. Get down to the dirty, shall we? All right, here we are. I don't really feel it bottoming out much, which is good. I mean, for real, all these bumps feel way better. Way better. You can feel it bouncing up and down a little bit when I hit the big bumps. Right here feels pretty smooth. Let's hit this thing. I felt the bottom out a little bit, but it came right back up quick, but it wasn't a hard bottom out. I can feel that it's very stiff, which is cool. It's nice to feel the softest setting and the stiffest setting within 10 minutes here. Definitely not bottoming out right now. So I think I have more spring power than I need, which is good. I'm only 165 pounds. Yeah, it's hard to get it to bottom out right now, which is good. It's hard to get it to bottom out. I have to use all my force to get it to bottom out. I can, but it's still not easy. That's kind of good. I think that's how I want it right now for the type of trails that I ride. They have nothing but roots that are huge. So now the spring's gonna take most of the beating, not my back or spine or butt. We're psyched. She's looking great right now. The seat actually looks great. Proper height, I can stretch my legs perfectly, stretch my calves. Can even put it up higher if I need. If this was a dropper post, it'd be best of both worlds, but we're gonna settle for the shock stopper instead of the dropper post at the moment and just test it out. There's that new light, so yeah, we're looking good. We got regular brakes on this bike, which are fun compared to the disc brakes on the other one. And yeah, I put the air pump on it just in case, because I don't have anything to seal that tire. That tire's unsealed, so I have to bring a tube in the car and bring that for now until I get foam inserts. And then the rack for the dog at some point. It's attached to the frame. Not in the way of the seat at all. Nothing's in the way of the seat. That's perfect clearance. It's at the minimum height line is actually a little higher. If you can see where it is right there in the middle. I can even put it down a little bit more for the minimum line. So we're above the minimum, which is good. Or the maximum, whichever you call that. We're happy here. It's comfortable. We're gonna test it out for real, for long distance biking with the dogs, 2 hours or so. I might bring them out tonight just to test it and finish up this video. So we'll see. It's hard not to film this. This is such a good test. Oh yeah, here we go. Nail it. Yep, I don't feel bottoming out, which is good. It feels good. Feels much better than it did with nothing, that's for sure. It's not hurting. It's not violent. It doesn't make me want to avoid these bumps. I can kind of just grip on tight and suffer with it. Look at this one. It's like 3 inches. Let's nail it. Yep. I can feel it bottom out very little and very lightly. So it would be fun to eventually get a stronger spring on here. But for now, we're going to have fun with it and just keep trying it. And just have fun with it. It feels like there's suspension on here, kind of like my other bike. It feels like it's fully suspended, but the travel's real short, but you still have some that you can adjust, which is awesome. So you can adjust it and make sure that I'm getting a good bounce, you know? It's kind of making me bounce a little more, which I like the bouncing. We're gonna keep it the way it is at the moment because I don't want to smash into the bottom. I think I'd rather bounce a little bit than bottom out a lot, you know what I mean? So this is good. I'm very happy. Yeah, they're redoing this outside of my place. This will be done soon. Let's take advantage of it. Well, it's horrible. You know, very nice. Very nice. Very decent. Yep, I'll take it. Absolutely, I'll take it. Oh, yeah, you get play back there now. Yeah, feels good. It feels fine. Feels good enough to ride for a while with the dogs, that's for sure. I think I can handle 3 hours of time on this now without any pain or weird feelings from smashing bumps and roots the whole time. Basically, I can beat the crap out of this bike a whole lot more. All right, I just adjusted the shifting, both that shifter and that. Well, not really that one, that one's fine. I adjusted that one in the position a little bit because I think it moved. Now we seem to be shifting. Rear shifting works pretty well. No problem there. We really were just adjusting the front ones. What? That's not good. All right, everything's shifted fine now, so for the most part, I mean, this is an old crappy shifter. It was extra, so I'd love to replace it someday with something better. And maybe I will, but for now, we're gonna just deal with it and just make sure it's in tune. Everything's oiled and greased, nothing's squeaking. We got rid of the squeak. I think it was the chain, so we sprayed it with some dry lube spray. With Teflon. All right, I held my breath and now I'm venting the place out. Here we go. Return you, they said. Don't do that, they said. Look, I'll repaint it if I have to. I don't care. I'll repaint the top a little bit. I'm just so happy that I got it working. 1 millimeter's absolute hogwash. I can't believe 1 millimeter prevented me, just like that one, also, the KSE-10. 1 millimeter prevented me from getting it down there. So instead of messing with the tube at all, keep the strength integrity there. Clean it out well, very well, re-lube it, and then take a little bit off. Take the paint off of the actual shock stopper post, and take a little bit of metal. Just take enough metal off that it goes in fairly easily without lube. If it goes in fairly easily without lube, you're good with lube. So that's it. Make sure it goes all the way in and use your minimum and maximum lines. In this case, I'm pretty much using all the way in. I get a little more room, so we are psyched. Return you. I initially returned it, but then I canceled the return. Changed my mind, because I did order the Pro Max suspension seat post, and that's going to be for this bike. And we'll do a video about that too, because that's one of the cheaper ones on the market, and see how it works on that bike. Maybe I'll test them out because they're even sized, so I'll stick the Pro Max in here too. Maybe we'll do a comparison test. Pro Max, $30 suspension seat post from eBay versus $230 shock stop suspension seat post from Redshift. All right, see you guys soon. It's so much fun today fixing that and making it work that now I get to go enjoy the fruits of my labor, and I can't wait. Time to go take out the dogs for like an hour and a half till dark. Test out the flashlight and the seat with the spring installed, and it's on the firmest setting. So let's go have some fun. Can't wait. This is what I've worked for all day. Yes. We said watch the pot of water. Doesn't boil. Huh? Look at this. Watch 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We're ready to go. Let's do this.